So, Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 1. Get out a jail card has been used on another night. We don't win that game. We don't get the penalty. Thomas Partey gets done for an infringement by VAR. On another night, Eze gets a penalty. On another night, Tomiyasu doesn't get sent off because he did nothing wrong. 40 seconds later, Kai Havertz pulling Ayu's shirt don't even get booked. The inconsistency is mad. But Kenny, you was at the game. We can't be relying on referee and VAR decisions to win a game. How did you see that live and direct in the stadium, mate?
Well, first and foremost, I think one thing I've learned about Arsenal is that when we get down to 10 men, we're actually more difficult to break down than when we're with 11. And I think we're really well drilled. And I thought that, what we did really well when we like I said went out 10 men, we brought on the right substitutes. We got on Gabriel. By taking off Gabriel Martinelli, we've got Gabriel on for the set piece. So when they put the crosses in, he wins these headers. And then you've got a situation where you bring on Jorginho. Jorginho holds the ball up, he keeps possession, and he passes it accurately to a yellow shirt. And that's where I think Crystal Palace kind of missed a trick. They had some good chances towards the end. I think towards the end, like I said, Mitchell's putting a really, really good cross. And I don't know who missed that sitter, but that could have been a situation where Crystal Palace probably thought, you know what, a draw would have been a fair result. But I think in terms of how we played, as I said last week at Crystal Palace, not the Forest, we're bedding in players. So you're going to find that our style of play is going to be compromised. And I think that's where, Partey at right back, not something I like. Havertz is playing in midfield. But if you look at Havertz, did he touch the ball really much? Not really. Was he an influence? No. He wasn't an influence in the team, but he's trying to get him in the side. Declan Rice was looked like $1 million as a holding midfielder. But the conundrum is, and the snag is, Partey's and holding midfielder. So we're accommodating Declan Rice, the position he played for West Ham, but £100 million, you would have thought that Declan Rice would play further up the pitch. And then you've got the conundrum as well. You play Eddie, and then when Eddie plays, he has to justify his manager's selection. He had 2 clear-cut chances, and he fluffed his lines. The first time he stumbled.
Your mic's really rubbing off your jacket.
Right, sorry. All right, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, but it's really it's like scratching.
Sorry.
No, I make you right, Kenny. Yeah, and listen, that was not easy tonight. Yeah, and the way we started that game, like you said, the starting 11, we're I predicted on Henry Wright's show the exact starting 11 apart from Tomiyasu. I thought he plays Zinchenko, and the fact that I can predict that apart from Tommy, Croyd and Roy can predict that.
Yeah,
and we can't keep going down this route of trying to incorporate Kai Havertz to the detriment of this football club.
Yeah, but the thing is,
he played 97 minutes, Kenny.
Yeah, but the thing is, he had to play 97 minutes because of the sending off. So with the sending off, if you take off Eddie, he's playing him up top. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, he didn't have to do it, but he's done it, and it's like the pieces are falling into place. It's like injuries have made it easier to get him in the team somehow. Like you would have thought after the Community Shield, he might have played up top, but then again, he's got a man management problem with Eddie. But again, we're carrying Kyle Havertz. But as I said before, it's easy to look at Kyle Havertz, but the fact is, Declan Rice is playing well, but at a price. He's playing as a DM, and he had an excellent game, but at a price to the extent that Partey has had to play at right back, and then Benjamin White's now playing in centre half. That means Gabriel can't get a game. So as much as you look at Kai Havertz, you look at the fact that it was kind of a no-show and he's feeling his way. Declan Rice is an issue as well, because because we got a vacancy in a Xhaka position where we don't actually need Declan Rice as a DM. We need Declan Rice as a number 8. And then Partey in that position. And when Partey plays as a number 6 and Declan Rice plays as number 8, the team has a better balance. And what we've seen in the first 2 games, there's no balance.
We both know this, right? And we both sat there with Jez Yeah, and I've done it with Brandon. I've done it on my fan cam. I've done it on the watch long. We all named our best 11. Yeah, and it ain't Thomas Partey at right back. It ain't Ben White at centre back. It ain't. Kai Havertz in the starting 11. Full stop. Eddie Nketiah tonight. I want to ask you about his performance. Yes, he missed 2 good chances.
Yeah,
right. One hit the post. The way he spun him, reminiscent of Righty. I can't lie. The way he spun. The only thing that was lacking was the finish. The second one was abysmal. Having said that, Ola then sits on the watch long and goes, "Yo, at least Eddie's the outball. He's giving us something." Yeah. As soon as he says that, he subs him off. And it's like, you're now subbing him off the centre back and left back. Yeah. Make it make sense to me, Kenny, because I'm baffled, mate.
Yeah, but that's the thing about manager. A lot of the things he's doing is experimentation. He's looked at his fixture list, and he feels, I can get away with this. Not the Forest at home, I can get away with this. Crystal Palace, I can get away with this. Fulham, I can get away with this. Man United is a different conundrum. Even though, obviously, you've got to look at the next game, which is Fulham, but it's a different conundrum. It's going to be very, very interesting, because what we've seen with Man United in the first 2 games is they haven't got a midfield that can, like I said, break the lines, win the ball, and give their forwards the ammunition to dominate football matches. So having to sort of hit teams on a break, but without the ball, they're soft. Is he going to take advantage of that by playing Thomas Partey and Declan Rice in the team? Because if he doesn't, that's like self-harming. But that's the thing. What he's getting away with murder, because I think in terms of Crystal Palace, is that Crystal Palace had to be on it. They had to play 90 minutes without making any mistakes. They had to keep possession, and in the little chance they got, they had to score. If they didn't do all those 3 disciplines right, then we would have got away with murder. And I think we did to a certain extent. When we went down to 10 men, we've made the pitch smaller, and Crystal Palace kind of found it difficult to break us down. And I think that's what the situation is. In terms of Eddie, the thing about it, right, if you take away our misgivings about Eddie in the team, full stop, or in the squad, you ask your striker to make it difficult for his marker, turn his man and get into good scoring positions, and you think, right, did Eddie do that? And he did. Did Eddie have a good game?
And he won the penalty.
Believe it or not, he actually, believe it or not, he did. But he's judging his goals.
But he's just not clinical.
He won. He's not clinical, but I think he was a bit of a fancy Dan in the second with the second shot. But the first one, I thought I saw a bloke who stumbled, but even if he stumbled, still hit the target, because
it came off his toe. If that comes off his instep, it goes in the back of the net. Came off his toe.
Yeah, but but I think that's the thing with Eddie. It's a kind of how do I say it? What I call maybe a metamorphosis situation where you don't really rate him, but in the interest of fairness, because we see ourselves as good football judges, on a football performance, he actually played well, and he's one of our better players. So you've got to give him a bye today. But you have to look at the situation with Kai Havertz. You've got to say to yourself, what you have to pray that eventually we are going to see something that we didn't see at Chelsea, and that they saw it left, because I can't see any. I can't see what he brings to the team.
With Arteta's tenure, it's praying and hoping he comes good.
Exactly.
And this guy is going to die on that Kai Havertz hill, my friend.
And that's the thing. This is make and break for Mikel Arteta, because the thing about it, right, is that as we've got the 6 points, you've got to be after the points, but it's going to be a time when we against better sides, you can't carry players. You can't disrupt the team for even Declan Rice, and that's one of my big bugbears. I love Declan Rice. I think he's $1 million. He can read the game really well, but position-wise, if you're going to play Declan Rice at DM, then you should have bought a player to play as a number 8, because judging by what I've seen today,
Smith Rowe.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Smith Rowe's pathway has been blocked by the acquisition of Kai Havertz. And then if you want to think of another position for Smith Rowe, it's Trossard, who didn't get on today. But if you put your hand up and say who's in front of who would you have come off the bench? Smith Rowe, Trossard. You've got to say Trossard. So you've got to look at the Smith pathway, and it's worrying because he didn't get on today. I don't know if he got on against not the Forest. He didn't get on against not the Forest. It came on in injury time and not the Forest. So really, you've got to look at this whole situation is that he's got to wait for injuries to key players for him to get a game, and even then, Trossard's in front of him. So that's another situation. But again, we've asked for managers to be ruthless. I think if you want me to, comment on the Kovacic thing, I will comment on it, and I'll tell you one thing right now. And I don't want to sound, like I said, sensationalist, but I think our manager bottled it today. He absolutely bottled it by playing Aaron Ramsdale in goal because you're chasing a player for 3 years.
Yep.
You've got a player whose attributes is something that attracted you him in the first place, i.e. distribution. Yet to keep team harmony, you played your number one. You played you played Ramsdale.
65 million, mate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You played Ramsdale, but I think you've bottled that because simple reason is that if you're not convinced about Ramsdale, why play him? Why play him? Why at the 11th hour have you decided to show management qualities that you never showed in the first place with certain players? You've been very ruthless at Kieran Tierney, but you're not ruthless with Aaron Ramsdale, which means there's an inconsistency in terms of your approach. The fact is, Aaron Ramsdale kept a clean sheet. People are going to say, what are you complaining about? But long term, if you're not decisive in terms of how you deal with Havertz, you're not decisive in how you deal with the goalkeeper situation with Raya and Ramsdale, it's going to bite us up the arse.
100%. And on that bombshell, put Diego Palace on quick. Hello.
Diego, say hello.
Come on.
Hey, Lee.
All right, give us a quick 40 seconds, bro. Give us a quick 40 seconds as a Palace fan. How did you see that today?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Sorry, say that again.
Give us a quick 40 seconds of how you see that game today as a Palace fan, bro.
I'm desperately sad for Eberechi Eze. He tried his best today. He was frustrated.
Eze was class. Him and Ayew caused us untold problems, bro.
Yeah, Jordan Ayew's eating that jollof rice from Ghana, so he's bringing it to the table. But it's just Oderson. He gassed out 65 minutes into the game. I'm scared that we're going to lose Eze in January. I'm scared. Literally.
Where do you see it as a Palace fan? Obviously, you've lost Wilfried Zaha. Elise is a big thing for you.
We need Elise back. The balance between Elise with Jordan Ayew and Oderson works. Also, the midfield between Corey and the Colombian. Big up to the Colombians out there. Jefferson Lamar is clicking, but we need Elise back. It's without Zaha and Elise. It's like going out there with one leg. It's madness.
100%. Listen, big up to you, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Get home safely as well. Look after my boy Kenny, and we'll speak soon. Kenny, I love you. Get home safely, my friend.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
Big up to him as well, man. Come on, always.
Come on, Arsenal.
Adios.
Adios.
2 out of 2. We're moving.
Diego saying no. He's saying no when I said, "Come on, Arsenal."
Right. F Diego. Fulham.